The challenge we had to make and invest in heavily was how to service those opportunities, right?
Yeah.
So closing a deal, that's just where the work starts, right? That's the easy part. And I say it as a sales leader. The hard part is delivering the work with high quality and then the follow-up. What happens after the implementation? We had to restructure really our entire business to be able to service enterprise clients because it's not the same as I can have a consultant assigned to this. When you're selling a $2,000 project, it's I need 3 FTEs for 18 months. And that's just a very different resource demand. Hello and welcome to the Partner Playbook, live from Inbound 2025. This is a podcast where we interview HubSpot partners about how to succeed in the HubSpot ecosystem. I'm your co-host, Ryan Gunn, founder of Attribution Academy.
And I'm Bryan Garvey, co-founder of Profoundly.
Today, we're joined by Bryan Byler, an absolute legend of the HubSpot community. He is also the Chief Revenue Officer for Aptitude 8, and he's been in the industry scaling professional services for what, 15 years? Yeah, that's about right. And Bryan, you've worked for numerous HubSpot partners. You've worked for HubSpot itself. Really just a powerhouse of a resume in the HubSpot ecosystem. Thank you. I appreciate the kind words. It's an honor to be here today.
Awesome. How's Inbound going so far?
It's been going great. Inbound's always got a great energy to it. I think this year it feels particularly impactful because we're in San Francisco. Some of that startup energy, that Silicon Valley vibes is definitely here. People are in good mood, spirits are high. I think the announcements this morning are really exciting. Anytime people are clapping and cheering like that, usually a good sign. Everyone's stoked to see Karen as a VP of product and kind of her debut. You get to announce some really exciting updates. So it's been awesome for us. Always great to see people. It's a once a year reunion for a lot of folks in the community. So that's always awesome. But everyone's been in good spirits and good energies. And I think we're really excited for the next couple of days. Do you have any particular standout product announcements that you think are going to have the biggest impact? Oh man, we're big fans of Clay. And so what I saw today looked a lot like a CDP. It did. And so the ability to do some of those AI-based automations directly in HubSpot, using your data natively in HubSpot is really interesting to me. So I'm pretty excited to see, as soon as I get back to my desk to play with it some more, in coming months, see that continue to iterate and get better. I had the exact same thought, the Clayification of HubSpot. I'm here for it. Especially since HubSpot is so known for having such a great UI. And I think that's one of the drawbacks of Clay is that the UI is it's not that good. It's a super powerful tool, but I think if HubSpot can have that and layer on top of it, a nice, easy to use interface, it'll be incredible. And it's supercharged, right? That was the primary difference. I feel like Clay gave us what we all wanted, right? We want Excel. We've used it for 20 years. Give me Excel that I can plug stuff into easily. I think that's why it's been revolutionary, that and many reasons, but that it's a UI layer though, to your point, Ryan, that's a UI layer. HubSpot, given that same UI layer, powered by your back end of your customer data, like your CRM, your marketing data, your services data. Yeah. That's what makes it such a powerhouse.
Yeah. Pretty amazing. One of the questions that I have, Bryan, is Aptitude 8, known for a lot of things, probably one of the most technical partners in the ecosystem, for folks that are listening and watching, how has Aptitude 8 really differentiated itself? What's different about A8 other than the sort of technical expertise?
It's a great question. I think we do double down on a brand positioning on kind of we want to be the go-to technical HubSpot partner. When HubSpot has really complex deals, they're like, man, this one's really got a lot going on, a lot of moving pieces, a lot of high risk. We just want to be the partner that HubSpot can feel confident going to, that we can solve those problems. And some things we do a little differently to, make that possible is just in our hiring. When a lot of talented folks know HubSpot, we really look for individuals who HubSpot and have that consulting background. And because our implementations are sometimes quite long and robust, and there's a lot of experience that goes along with that. So just hiring really talented individuals on the consulting side and the development side allow us to continue to do that. It's also the work we enjoy. Yeah. It's the integrations, the migrations, the larger implementations. We had to restructure our entire business to be able to sustainably do that. And I'd say we're pretty well pot committed now.
Yeah. That's amazing. I know it's one of the things I think that we've talked about before, as you're scaling, as you guys obviously have, you're going to end up losing people, and you just have to constantly be hiring and have the right processes and all the things.
Yeah, these things happen. You never like it when good people leave an organization. But there's a lot of interest. There's a lot of great people in the community and the ecosystem. I think there are a lot of really talented individuals that are always looking for opportunities. And also, look, as a revenue leader, I'm not naive enough to think that everyone's going to work for us in their entire career. And most folks who end up leaving Aptitude 8 do go on to progress in their career, most to director level roles. And so if they're able to add value to our clients and enjoy working together for some X amount of time and then move on in their career and continue to move up and progress, like that's all you really hope for as a leader and a manager. We want our people to be successful, be able to provide for their families in their communities. And, that's an okay resolution.
Yeah. For anybody that doesn't know, I have a little bit of unfair insight here because I used to work for Aptitude 8. Bryan and I were close coworkers. And one of the things that really struck me when I worked there is it's down to the terminology that's used internally. Like instead of a former employee, it's a graduate of Aptitude 8. And I think that just speaks so highly to what you guys are doing in the hiring process, in the employee education process. It's that understanding that like this is a stepping stone to a big, great career is really in the DNA of the company. And just props to you guys for fostering that culture.
Thanks, Gunn. I appreciate that. It's definitely important. And you said the word culture there. It really has to be. And it's when it becomes normal, like that's when it's cultural, right? When that's a normal expectation, I think that's where the hard work goes towards.
I want to talk a little bit more about the internal processes at Aptitude 8, because I think that is a differentiator for you all, is how you just run everything internally. There's a lot of thought put into process there. And one of the things that was implemented shortly before I left, and I would love to hear an update on, is you guys started using an internal operating system called EOS. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, EOS has been very impactful for us. Entrepreneurial operating system. It's a whole framework on how to run a business, how to run just your internal operations, a series of kind of this concept of level 10 meetings. There's a lot of good books on there if you're interested. What is EOS is actually a great book on Amazon, but it's just a way to run a company. It's truly an operating rhythm. And so we had a merger last year with OPO, and they were deeply using their founders there, Noah and Rob, are big fans and proponents of it. I've used EOS for a long time myself. I became interested in it working at Facebook a number of years ago where they use it quite heavily. So it's been around a while, and it was really important to them on our merger that we adopted this framework. And I think a lot of people were, maybe not skeptical, but unsure. This is a very different way to do things. Fast forward a year later, it's been extremely impactful. We're getting so much done. I think the timeline to complete internal initiatives is greatly reduced. We have clarity. We're talking about the right objectives at all times. They're called rocks in EOS, right? So we're all working towards the same strategic goals. And it's just allowed us, I think, to move quicker. And we've always prided ourselves moving quickly. Anytime you go through a merger organization, you get larger. The ship in the ocean is larger. When you turn the steering wheel hard to the left, and it takes longer to make that left turn, I think that's helped to mitigate some of the challenges at scale for us. It also allowed us to merge two companies together probably much faster than it would have happened otherwise had we not had an EOS in place.
That's really interesting. I think I want to just talk again a little bit about AI, right? So you mentioned like turning the ship. Obviously, a lot of partners thinking about AI and investing in building out their capabilities. It has obviously done that. How have you done that? How have you made that turn?
Yeah, I think just a conscious effort to make it top of mind as an organization. If your CEO is not talking about it, it's probably not important to the organization, right? So it's really for the last 2 years, and Connor as well, I think I give him credit here. And prior to AI first being a popular buzz term, I would hear Connor say things like, hey, we're going to lean on AI first. It was very apparent and very evident going back 2.5+ years ago that this is going to be the way of the future. And I think some companies were skeptical about their employees using it, or we don't get them licenses, or maybe it's cheating or something like that. But that was never even a discussion point. We're like, hey, we want everybody to get equipped in how to use AI. Yeah. Training is appropriate. We give folks licenses to the appropriate systems and learn how to make it work for us, because a lot of our clients are upper mid-market enterprises, Bryan, and we can't like use AI to do that work, right? It takes a deep human mind and consulting experience. What we can do is allow you to use AI to help us move a little bit faster, a little more efficiently. And we've really doubled down on that. Just those small efficiency gains have been just really important for the business. But I think it starts at the leadership level. It's probably what I would say to any executive, right? You've got to make it a priority for your business. You've got to be talking about it often and have an official policy. Hey, here's how we're going to use it. I see a lot of policies out there governing like how to not use it, right?
Yeah.
But a very few number of policies, this is how we are going to use it. And I think that's probably the paradigm shift I would encourage leaders to make.
That's cool. That's good.
That's great info about how you guys are using it internally, creating a lot of efficiency. How are you thinking about AI in terms of services? Because I know tons of partners are trying to figure out, do we have a dedicated AI service offering? Do we just integrate it into the other services that we already offer? How's Aptitude 8 thinking about that?
Yeah. We're leaning on HubSpot here a little bit, not the company as much as the product here, because there'll become an increased need for AI services. There already is. I think folks to build these agentic workflows and work inside of the MCPs and stuff like that. So if your partner is considering having an AI service offering your SKU, I'd support that. I think that's probably a good thing to do. I don't know how much demand there is today, but that's going to change very quickly. And I think when I say we're leaning on HubSpot, a lot of the things we could build custom, or you could maybe pay a consultant or something to do, we're seeing get built natively in HubSpot, right? And so if it's in HubSpot, it is AI, right? But for us, I think that becomes HubSpot consulting. And so today we're saying things like, oh, we're going to use AI for this or use AI for that. We don't say we're going to use the internet anymore. Yeah, I'm going to get online for a while, and then it just normal, right? I'm going to Google it. It's probably a decade. I think in a very short time, we're going to stop saying I'm using AI for that. It's just going to become normal. And so I think HubSpot is doing a good job of normalizing AI inside the tool. And then it's not, oh, I'm going to get in HubSpot and use my AI thing. I'm just using HubSpot. And it's become acceptable and normal that the AI is the components and features of the back ends of these types of products.
Yeah. That's a really interesting take. I love the comparison of kind of the AI revolution to the internet, because it does feel like that. It's something that has become in a very short amount of time so ubiquitous, and it's a daily part of certainly everybody in our industry's life. And I even see it playing out into just daily life, much like the internet is.
We've talked about some of your custom GPTs.
I do have a tendency to create custom GPTs for just everyday life stuff.
Same.
Yeah. I have one right now that helps me build Magic the Gathering decks. What non-professional use cases do you have for AI?
I have many. I think people would probably be surprised when they have to scroll down to my custom GPTs. Some fun ones. I built a really impactful one. I've got a lot of time in it for trip planning. My wife and I like to travel a lot, so I've got a trip GPT that's really cool. It can go as far as get you to a booking screen for flights. So it's pretty awesome. My accountant and I made a bet this year that I could build a GPT to my taxes instead of him. And it did. And I will say, look, it was pretty close. I had to have him validate everything and he still had to file it. But I think I built one to help with taxes. I think that was a good one. Let's see what else here. I got some personal ones here as well. Like I said, there is a magic one that may or may not exist. Thank you, Connor, for getting me back into magic after 20 years. My wife and I use one for kind of family planning. We've got one that knows a lot about the Byler household because we were using notes on our phone. Yeah. We have shared notes on the iPhones back and forth. And it was actually her idea. She's like, hey, can you put this in AI? But probably the most fun one we've done is we used AI to help determine where a family should move to next. And so we were based in South Florida for a while, and we knew we wanted to move somewhere different. And my wife was like, hey, do some research. And I was like, oh yeah, say less. I love data, Ryan. I built 3 GPTs. I built a Claude, a Llama, and a custom GPT, trained it with about 110 data points over 3 months. And then I asked them hey, based upon everything you know and everything you learned, where do you think we should move to and why? And that's how we ended up in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Crazy, but we did it.
How has it worked out? How are you settling in
Do you
there?
love it?
Yeah, it's been great. We had a lot of boxes. It checks the boxes. There's a unique microclimate there in central PA that was really important to us. We like to get outdoors and do hiking, that kind of stuff. I've got 2 young boys, and it's really important to me that they get outdoors and get to experience nature a little bit, and they love it. It's hard to do that in the Everglades when it's 99 degrees and there's alligators and crocodiles and pythons. I don't think there's crocodiles, but it's been great. For my family, it's been really impactful. And look, the AI was great. The crime rate's really low. The schools are really good. We got a nice home that I can afford, which is good. The Florida real estate market had gotten a little out of hand there for a while, but it's been good. And I'm thankful my wife trusted me enough to trust the AI, but we've really embraced it as a family.
That's awesome. I mean, imagine doing that without AI.
Oh,
How long would that take you?
Totally.
If you could come up with those recommendations? It's wild.
There are companies that will charge thousands of dollars to do the research for you.
Yeah.
It was essentially free other than just my time and knowing what data points to put in there.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I do find myself thinking you talk about it's ubiquitous. Imagine not having it now. Oh my.
Yeah.
That would not be good.
Forget
it.
Is.
It really has. It's a part of every single day. Building out my course, it was instrumental in how I structured it, had all of the ideas, but I'm not an instructional designer. I've created a lot of educational content. I've never created a formal course. So it was really helpful in figuring out this is how you should lay out the content. So it builds module to module. And by the end of it, you've got this cohesive learning experience rather than just 20 different short videos strung together.
Yeah.
I think the advice I give anybody that as they're exploring this concept of building out your own custom GPTs, that sounds scary, right? Like a custom GPT or what have you, and whatever platform you prefer. it's more customized, right? And I think as people get started, they're maybe reluctant to do that or something like that. Look, the base model's fine, but when you can give it the context about what you really want to do, that's impactful. So a couple of prompts that I like to use are starting, I'll spend 20 minutes just giving the bot context before I tell it to do anything or even what I want it to do. I need you to learn this, become an expert in this. This is what I'm going to use you for, right? I need you to deeply understand this type of thing. This is who I am. This is what I do. And you give it the whole history lesson, and then the results are going to be exceedingly better. And then you just iterate and iterate. My trip bot started off pretty terrible, but I've probably got 40 hours in it now over the course of last year, and it's excellent. But you just continue to iterate. Is Yamini joking about this morning? Like the first thing, no M dashes ever. Seriously, please, no M dashes.
I'm a defender of the M dash. I'm a former English major. I was using M dashes before AI.
I think you're the only one.
I will continue to use them after AI.
Agree.
I want to pivot a little bit to talk about the partner program. You've got a lot of experience leading HubSpot partners. The partner program has changed a lot over the years. How are you and how is Aptitude 8 kind of getting the most out of that relationship with HubSpot?
It's a great question. The partner program has definitely changed a lot under your leadership.
My seat gets very warm when we talk about that.
Yeah, I think the opportunity is larger than ever. I think if you are a new or younger or aspiring partner, go for it. HubSpot's not going anywhere. The partner ecosystem continuing to grow. Partners are getting more and more sophisticated. And we're seeing people from other ecosystems becoming increasingly interested in HubSpot. I talked to the partner last night, actually, and they were a Salesforce partner, had some success. And I won't share the name in confidence, but they're a notable Salesforce partner. And they started doing some HubSpot work. And he told me last night, he's like, hey, man, I think we're going to just double in on HubSpot and go all in. And that's a pretty common story. And so I think the opportunity for partners is huge. A lot of the changes to the programs are good. And I think they're good for scaling partners. They're more equitable. They're more fair. But I think there's a whole new kind of cohort of partners that are coming up, these new elite partners, new diamond, new platinum partners that are super, super talented. And they're scaling faster, right? They're bringing in industry experience with RevOps experience. For years, we had deep experience in RevOps or MOps or SOPs. And that is a career that you can be a specialist in. We're seeing folks from other industries, career leaders from healthcare, from insurance, and from business who enjoy HubSpot. Hey, like I love it so much, I want to build a career around it. And so when you're getting that industry experience, that real world experience, we're seeing this emergence of partners. And I'm sure you've talked to them, Bryan, that are like really highly specialized in a particular field or a particular type of applications. And I think that's really exciting. And for us at Aptitude 8, we're really bullish on the platform, on the partner program. It's going to continue to grow and scale. And I think it will be a model for future partner programs.
Aptitude 8 has really pushed the bounds of kind of the enterprise end of HubSpot, making it do things that people didn't know it was possible for HubSpot to do. But also, I feel like you all were almost ahead of HubSpot in terms of shifting up market. How are you guys thinking about that now? Are you continuing to look even higher than what HubSpot is, or has the platform caught up to where you guys are?
I think there was probably a pivot maybe a year or so ago where it felt like some of the partners like us were maybe ahead of the game. And I think the product certainly caught up. And I think HubSpot is actively selling into large household enterprise names now. Some of our clients, companies like Lenovo and Bluetooth, these are large enterprise clients that are happily using HubSpot. So there was some chaff, I guess, HubSpot got for a few years was, oh, it's not an enterprise tool, or like you can only use it up into a certain growth juncture, and then you've got to switch to Salesforce. And that's just not true, right? Maybe 5 years ago, but it's simply unfounded now. Our clients are getting larger, hundreds of seats, thousands of seats. Like they're some of the largest insurance companies in the world that use HubSpot, and they're our clients. So I think so. But for us, what that's meant is like, it's one thing to sell these organizations, but the challenge we had to make and invest in heavily was how to service those opportunities, right? Yeah. So closing a deal, that's just where the work starts, right? That's the easy part. And I say it as a sales leader. The hard part is delivering the work with high quality, right? And then the follow-up. What happens after the implementation? So we had to restructure really our entire business to be able to service enterprise clients, because it's not the same as, oh, I can have a consultant assigned to this, right? When you're selling a $2,000 project, it's, I need 3 FTEs for 18 months. And that's just a very different resource demand, right? And so you can't always fill that with contractors or consultants. I think there's great opportunities to partner there, but we really had to build the business intentionally, rebuild it essentially for upmarket in mind. And that took a significant investment, both in people and capital. And we're still working through that, but we're bullish and we think it was the right move. It is the right move.
I want to embarrass you a little bit because I do have some insight since I was there at the same time as you. When you started leading our sales org, you switched from being the COO to the CRO within a very short period. It was under a year, I believe. the average deal size quadrupled. Like massive
That's the way.
change in terms of the types of clients that Aptitude 8 was able to attract. I know you said that like selling is the easy part, servicing it is the hard part. What are some challenges that you guys have run into on the services side, and how are you addressing them?
I have a question before you answer.
Yeah.
How did you do that? The partners want to know.
No, yeah, look, and I'll say this humbly as possible. It's now 10x. Right? It's now 10x.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the way.
Yeah. All right. 10x in 2 years. I think it's aligning with HubSpot. Truly, just being super aligned with what we identified enterprise opportunity, aligning with the HubSpot sales team and deal team and solution engineers there is impactful. I think our investment pre-sale solution architecture was really impactful. Our head of solution architecture, Matt, I give him and his team a lot of credit for that work, because to sell through those opportunities, the sales process is very complex. I said it's the easy part, maybe it's not, but I think it took a significant investment on like getting someone off a robust Salesforce instance at scale is really challenging. They've invested maybe millions of dollars. They need to know, not like a salesperson tell them, they need to know and fully understand their future in HubSpot. And I say all the time, we sell trust and confidence are the two things you really sell. And so I think that's a lot of it. I think just giving people confidence in the sales cycle to really understand, hey, what it would look like. The marketing side, marketers love HubSpot. I mean, it's the sales, it's the CRM side that sometimes can be challenging in the integrations and migrations, but we built a lot of proof of concepts, custom demo portals, and we have to invest a lot of time, 40, 50, 60, sometimes up to 100 hours in a sales cycle. And that's a significant investment of time, but that's ultimately what was necessary. And when I was taking over sales, I mean, Connor and I had a very kind of conversation, and he was like, what do you need? I was like, I need solution architects, man, like 3 of them. And he was like, you got it. Good luck. I thank him for giving me kind of the autonomy to do that, but I think it ended up being the right plan.
I hate to cut this off, but we are running out of time in our recording slot here. Bryan, it's always a pleasure to hang with you. Thank you for taking time out of your busy inbound schedule to join us.
Happy to be here. Thanks for the opportunity. Thank you, Bryan.
Yeah, this is awesome. Thanks. Bro.
Before we go, is there anything that you want to shout out that Eight's working on that you just want to promote?
Yeah, I think the shout out I'd probably give is just we're hiring. Probably be my shameless shout is we are actively hiring for really all positions, and we always may be hiring. And I think if you're interested or not sure if you want to work for Eight, if it's the right fit or you're qualified, feel free to reach out. I love taking virtual coffees with folks in the ecosystem. It's one of my favorite things to do. I'm happy to chat through the opportunity with us or another partner. If you're on client side and considering the partner side, happy to help you chat through that as well. But yeah, just happy to be a resource if anybody ever needs anything. But I'd say we're hiring. And if you're interested, do reach out.
Awesome. Bryan, what do you have going on at Profoundly?
Right now, we're just having a ball here at Inbound. That's our focus. So we've got a lot of exciting things coming up on the AI front, some announcements that'll come out in the next week or two. But yeah, that's what we're really focused on and scaling. So how about you, Bryan? What's going on at Attribution Academy?
Yeah, we are quickly approaching the launch of my course, the Attribution Mastery Certification course. It's currently still at a discount pre-launch for 50% off. Once it launches, that discount goes away. So anybody listening that wants to learn some attribution skills that are HubSpot specific, beef up your services offering, or just do some good in your company to give marketing credit where credit's due, sign up.
Awesome.
All right. I think that's going to wrap us up for this episode of the Partner Playbook. Thanks once again to Bryan for joining us.
Thanks all.